Hey guys, what's going on? We're back with another Destiny 2 video, and today I wanted to put out a video for Onslaught and some builds for hunters that I would recommend using. If you guys want, I will do another video if this one gets some good reception for Warlocks and Titans, so make sure to hit that like button if you do enjoy this video. But without further ado, let's get into these builds and how you'll be using them. Okay, so the first build that we have here is a Shards of Galanor build. Now, you can kind of mess with this however you want. You're basically just going to want to make sure that you have Shards of Galanor on. This exotic allows you to decrease the cooldown of your super with Throwing Knife Final Blows, and also hits and Final Blows with Blade Barrage will return super energy after the super ends. So you're going to want to make sure, of course, you have Blade Barrage on, obviously, as well as Knife Trick, as these knives are really nice. And you're also going to want this fragment on Ember of Torches. Anything else you have on is kind of superfluous, but these are some here that will help you get some more value. You have Ember of Singeing, which will increase your abilities when you scorch targets. They will recharge faster. You also have Ember of Empyrean, which will extend your restoration and radiant, which is so nice. It does decrease your resilience, but hopefully you have high enough resilience in the first place. Ember of Searing, which allows you to defeat scorched targets and grant melee energy when you do, and that also creates a fire sprite, as well as Ember of Mercy, which is perhaps the most important one because we don't know how difficult Onslaught is going to be yet. So having the ability to get restoration when you're near your allies, or sorry, when you revive an ally and you're near them, is going to be really, really nice. Also, picking up a fire sprite and getting that restoration is going to be very nice as well. I like to have Healing Grenade on with this build because it is possible for you to harm yourself with Blade Barrage, so you want to have that on just in case. Plus, it's nice to have for your other teammates if they are weak. You could put Gunpowder Gamble on instead of On Your Mark or Knock Them Down. However, with Knock Them Down, you will have increased projectiles. You will also get Radiant with your Final Blows, and if you get Throwing Knife kills, they will be automatically refunded. If you're using something that has precision on it, then On Your Mark is good, but if you want to just make stuff blow up, then of course Gunpowder Gamble is where it's at. So aside from that, you're going to want to make sure you have at least one hands-on mod on. You can go with two if you want, but since we're doing endgame content, I'm not sure how ammo drops are going to be. Heavy Ammo Finder and a Heavy Ammo Scout will be nice for you and your teammates to make sure that you have heavy ammo on. If you're earlier in the run of Onslaught, you might want to run with two just so you're getting your super back quicker. Or if you just want to get your super back really fast, having two on that stack is going to help. You could even go with three of these on. It will, again, increase the potency of its effects. So, I mean, you could 100% do this. I'm probably just going to see how it goes with the heavy ammo drops and do something like this. As for your chestplate mods, you're just going to want to wait and see what modifiers are on and adjust accordingly. And, of course, finally, for your boots. Well, not finally, we're going to get to the cloak in a second as well. I like having at least better already on. It does immediately begin your health regeneration. Recuperation is another one that's nice to have on as well. And one invigoration is good, as well as an absolution. You can change this up, obviously. If you want to put some other mods in here, like elemental charge or stacks on stacks. But this is usually what I like to roll with. You could do 2 invigorations or 2 recuperations, whatever floats your boat. And I like to have time dilation on with this build to extend restoration and radiant. So I have that damage boost and that healing for just a little bit longer. And then a couple outreach mods here to reduce my melee cooldown when I'm dodging. Is really nice as well. You could throw powerful attraction on. If you have low resilience, you could throw on restoration. Really, the rest of this is up to you, but you just want to make sure you have shards on, Blade Barrage, Knife Trick, and those fragments and aspects that I talked about. So that's build number 1, Shards of Galanor. You're just going to be spamming a bunch of knives and Blade Barrage. You're always going to have your super, and you're going to have the ability to melt adds or bosses on demand. It's really nice. I like to run Dragon's Breath with this. You don't have to. It is quite literally like an ignition build if you want. You could switch to something like fixed odds if you want more ad clear. It really depends on what you're running. If you're going to be someone who's killing a boss, you might want something like a linear instead, like a cataclysmic. Really, weapons are up for whatever the heck you want to use, but this is what I decided to roll with for this one. This next one you might recognize from the... it took a second for my loadout to load there. You might recognize from the Into the Light first dev stream, something similar to what Noah was using in his gameplay. Man, I love Gryfalcons. I will say, however, though, if you don't feel comfortable, because this build does require you to be a little bit aggressive to get that invisibility, but if you want to be more safe, Omnioculus definitely in later rounds will be a safe way to make sure that you and your team survive. So while I recommend Gryfalcons for Onslaught, I will also say Omnioculus is a good second choice. And of course, Orpheus Rigs would be another one as well. I just love Gryfalcons, and I think Buried Bloodline is very underrated. I don't have the Catalyst unlocked yet, although I definitely think that Onslaught is going to help me in that regard. You're going to have champion or barrier mods. I mean, no one's going to have to run them because you're going to have that covered. I have Fatebringer on with this build simply because it's an unstop hand cannon this season. You can use pretty much whatever else you want depending on the situation, and of course Commemoration is... and I didn't mean to make that rhyme there, but Commemoration is really nice for ad clear as well. You could switch this out for a rocket, like Cold Comfort, if you want to do a little bit more damage, or again, literally anything else, depending on the situation and your team's comp. Something you're going to want to make sure of is that you have these certain aspects on. You're going to want to make sure that you definitely have, after performing a Silas execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets, which is very nice. Vanishing Step, you just want to dodge and get invisible. Grenades, again, are subjective. I love Vortex Grenade. It's really good after the Void rework. Snare Bomb, it's the only one you can have on unless you switch to Trapper's Ambush. Triple Jump, I mean, this doesn't really matter. I like to have Deadfall on with this. You could use Mobius Quiver instead, but I think Deadfall is your best bet. Echo of Starvation, because Devour is just really nice. Echo of Leeching to get that health regeneration, because that's what you want to do. It also helps your allies. Echo of Persistence to give you those void buffs. Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour have that increased duration as well. And of course your finisher, because you have Gryfalcons on, will have a void burst of damage that causes nearby combatants to become volatile, because you just want to make everything volatile and explode. The rest of these mods are somewhat, subjective. I like to have these heavy ammo mods on, again, to help my team. Void Siphon, because I'm using Void. These mods here don't really matter, and again, your chestplate is going to depend on modifiers and whatnot. I like to have my grenade up as much as possible. Again, you can switch to recuperation. Better already is good. I mean, with this build, you're going to have enough recuperation and regen with Devour and whatnot. And then Time Dilation to make your volatile effects last longer. This is just a really solid build that you can use in just about any endgame content, although the more difficult stuff, I would definitely recommend Omnioculus. Just simply switch out Omni for Gryfalcons, slap on Vanishing Step, Trapper's Ambush, and switch up your mods a little bit, and you're good to go. I mean, Omni is an insanely good, insanely reliable way to survive. And, I might put a build video together for that separately. But for now, Gryfalcons, I think, is going to be really, really nice. And that's your second Hunter build. Okay, so this third and final build, I think, is slightly underrated. It isn't the greatest, but it certainly is, again, underrated. People don't use it as much as they used to. I could be wrong on this, but you're gonna slap on Renewal Grasps with Stasis. Hunter Stasis. I know it's weird. You're gonna run Duskfield Grenade because with Renewal Grasps, Duskfield Grenades have a larger radius, and you also get some resist inside those Duskfield Grenades. It's really nice. Lament will also heal you, so if you throw down your Duskfield Grenade, you will be getting healed by Lament while having the resist from the Duskfield Grenade. It's a really good combo and just melts everything. Also, with this Siphon mod on, if I can find it here, it's literally right here, Thermodynamic. If you wanted to slap that on to make orbs, you can, although having hands on is really nice because your melee is also going to give you increased grenade energy. And you're just always going to have your Renewal Grenade up, your Duskfield Grenade up. You're also going to have Grim Harvest on, which will grant you melee energy as well. You're going to have Touch of Winter on, which allows your Duskfield Grenade to have increased slow field size. It also creates smaller crystals on impact. And listen, this is just a fun build to use in my opinion. You can switch up the weapons here. Mods, again, as far as they go, you want to make sure you have your grenade and melee mods on so that you're chaining your melee and grenade, and you always have a grenade up. You can put Stasis Surge on, but for this particular build, I prefer Solar Surge, obviously, because you're using Lament. And Reaper is nice as well, because you're going to dodge to get your melee back, and then you're going to use it and make a little power of orb, or orb of power for your friends. I'm just saying everything backwards. The eclipse has got me all messed up, even though I didn't get to see it because I'm in upstate New York, and there were clouds everywhere today. So yeah, this is another build. Arguably, these aren't the best builds you could use. These are just some builds that I'm going to try out. So those are some builds that I would use for Onslaught. Again, you can drop your builds down below. I will put dim links as well if you just want to click those and do that. I know it's a lot easier than sitting through this whole video, but if you did, thank you very much for watching. If you could, like, subscribe, and again, comment some builds that you might be trying for Onslaught down below. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.